In the early 1900s, linemen worked high on utility poles, maintaining and installing electrical and telecommunication lines. Their dangerous and essential work helped build the infrastructure that would power and connect rapidly growing cities across the nation. An Appalachian family is pictured at their mountain cabin in Wayne County, West Virginia. Their home reflects the region's rugged, self-sufficient lifestyle, set amid the steep hills and forests that define this part of the Appalachian Mountains. Around 1910, a family and their dog are pictured in their early automobile at their home in Lafayette County, Missouri, capturing a moment of everyday life as cars began to transform American households and rural communities. In 1920, visitors enjoyed auto camping at Silver Lake, Washington, embracing the growing popularity of recreational travel by automobile and the freedom it offered to explore natural landscapes across the country. Tents stand at the original Eureka Gold Camp in Washington State. A note on the photograph reads, "Seattle and Tacoma, Aves, Eureka," capturing life in this early mining settlement during the height of the region's gold rush. 1915, the Coca-Cola Bottling Company operated in Terre Haute, Indiana, reflecting the early expansion of one of America's most iconic beverage brands and the growing popularity of carbonated drinks across the nation. Around 1904, at Sowers Lumber Camp in Henderson Township, Wexford County, Michigan, a company official sits with his men. Nearby, socks, gloves, and shoes hang to dry, illustrating daily life in a remote logging camp west of Cadillac. In 1910, a group of people is pictured spinning and winding wool in front of a cabin in Anderson County, Tennessee, capturing a glimpse of traditional textile work and everyday life in rural Appalachia. Between 1904 and 1918, a man and his dog are pictured at a cabin in the Maine woods, reflecting the quiet, self-sufficient lifestyle of those living in America's remote forested regions during the early 20th century. About a century ago, snow rollers like this horse-drawn model in Vermont were still in use, mainly in rural areas. They packed snow on roads for sleighs, and even as early cars emerged, many communities favored traditional horse-drawn sleighs and pungs. Around 1882, covered wagon trains carried families westward along the Oregon Trail, embodying the determination and challenges of pioneer life as settlers traveled across vast plains and rugged terrain in search of new opportunities. Around 1910, horses and cowboys gather at the U&I Bar in North Bend, Washington, offering a glimpse into the everyday life and culture of the American West during the early 20th century. In 1870, the 6th Avenue Elevated Railway is pictured crossing Broadway in New York City. This view, looking southwest from 33rd Street and Broadway, captures an early era of urban transit and the growing infrastructure of a rapidly expanding city. In 1889, a sod schoolhouse served District 6, located 2 miles west of Myrna in Custer County, Nebraska. Built from local materials, provided a humble yet vital space for education on the Great Plains. In 1939, Dust Bowl refugees struggled to survive, embodying the hardships depicted in The Grapes of Wrath. Families faced economic ruin, environmental disaster, and uncertain futures as they were forced to leave their homes in search of work and stability. Around 1880, the Ellefson family, immigrants from Norway, established their homestead in Hendricks, Lincoln County, Minnesota, reflecting the determination of settlers who built new lives on the American frontier. In 1940, the little neighborhood store in Middlebury, Vermont, served as a local hub, offering goods and fostering community connections in a town setting during a period of everyday American life. In 1918, visitors enjoyed car camping in Woodland Park, Colorado, embracing the growing popularity of automobile travel and the freedom it offered to explore scenic landscapes across the American West. 1883, a towering wooden railroad bridge of the Northern Pacific Railway spanned Montana's rugged landscape, exemplifying the engineering feats that connected the American West and facilitated commerce and settlement across the frontier. Around 1904, a glimpse of daily life unfolds in Harlan County, Kentucky, capturing the routines, work, and community of residents living in this Appalachian region. During the early 20th century, in 1911, a driver changes a tire on a Model T Ford, using the vehicle's specially designed toolkit, highlighting the hands-on maintenance required by early automobile owners. 1886, cowboys gather for dinner on the expansive Ox Ranch, which stretched across Childress, Hardman, and Cottle counties in Texas, with headquarters roughly 10 miles southeast, offering a glimpse into life on a large 19th-century cattle operation. In 1886, a group of children is pictured at a cider mill below Little River Gap in Blount County, Tennessee, capturing a moment of daily life in the region. This image comes from the William Cox Cochran Great Smoky Mountains photographic collection. In 1910, 11-year-old Joseph Severio worked as a peanut vendor in Wilmington, Delaware, pushing his cart for 2 years and typically working 6 hours daily. All his earnings went to his father. This photograph was taken by Louis Hine for the National Child Labor Committee sometime in the 1890s. A woman stands by her one-room house at the Rugby Coal Camp in Los Animas County, Colorado. A barrel rests outside, a coal shovel leans against the wall, and a chimney pipe rises from the roof, illustrating life in a remote mining community. In 1898, during the Yukon Gold Rush, a group of people gathers in front of the Waffle Bakery and Turner & Co. auctioneers in Dawson City, capturing the bustling activity and spirit of one of North America's most famous frontier towns. At the turn of the 20th century, a woman at a Cherokee cabin on the Qualla Reservation in North Carolina pounds corn into meal with a mortar and pestle. The log house, featuring stone chimneys, reflects traditional Cherokee home design of the era. In October 1921, Sunset School in Mary, Pocahontas County, West Virginia, served as an educational center for the local community, reflecting the rural schoolhouses that were vital to learning in early 20th century Appalachia. In 1889, the W.A. Connolly General Blacksmithing Shop operated in Fullerton, Orange County, California, providing essential metalwork and repair services to the growing community during the late 19th century. In 1935, a woman pumps water into a tub outside her home in Hernshaw, West Virginia. This photograph, taken by Ben Shan for the Farm Security Administration, captures daily life and the labor of rural households during the Great Depression. 1853, a daguerreotype captures the bustling St. Louis levee along the Mississippi River, filled with wagons, goods, and steamboats, highlighting the city's role as a vital hub of trade and transportation. In mid-19th century America, in May 1902, an Inuit family poses with their dogs in front of a sod house in Nome, Alaska, offering a glimpse into the daily life and traditional dwellings of indigenous Arctic communities at the turn of the century. In 1912, a family in Seattle is pictured with their Speedwell automobile, reflecting the early adoption of motor vehicles and the growing influence of the automobile on American family life. In the late 1920s, a Texaco gas station attendant chips a block of ice into a Coca-Cola cooler, illustrating the era's service culture and the methods used to keep beverages cold before modern refrigeration. In 1911, Niagara Falls is captured frozen, showcasing a rare and striking natural phenomenon where the immense waterfalls appear suspended in ice during the harsh winter months. Between 1938 and 1945, a female logger is pictured working at a sawmill in New Hampshire, highlighting the vital roles women took on in labor-intensive industries during the World War II era. In 1940, a mountain woman is pictured churning butter at Burton's Fork, Kentucky, reflecting traditional Appalachian domestic practices and self-sufficient rural life in the region. A hay baling crew works near Florence, Montana, with a steam tractor on a dirt road, pulling 2 carts, followed by a horse-drawn carriage. This scene illustrates the mix of mechanized and traditional farming methods in early 20th century rural America. In 1905, the Arizona Club in Las Vegas thrived during the era when whiskey ruled the West, serving as a social hub amid the rugged and rapidly developing frontier town. In June 1859, a group of prospectors camps near Denver, possibly at Riley's Gulch, on their journey for the Pikes Peak Gold Rush, famously captured under the title Pikes Peak or Bust, 1860. In 1897, gold miners are pictured at their log cabin in Jasper, Colorado, reflecting the rugged lifestyle and frontier spirit of those drawn to the Rocky Mountains. During the late 19th century gold rush, in 1876, Deadwood, in the Dakota Territory, is depicted as a rough-and-tumbled gold rush town, bustling with miners, prospectors, and settlers drawn by the promise of fortune during one of the American West's most famous gold rushes. Around 1879, men, women, a horse, and a covered wagon crossed the Red River on a ferry near Fort Abercrombie, North Dakota, while another wagon and several people wait on the far side. This image reflects transportation and daily life in the frontier era. In 1916, a one-room schoolhouse in Kentucky is shown with a potbelly stove, exemplifying the simple, community-centered, educational settings common in rural America during the early 20th century. In 1928, Times Square in New York City buzzed with activity, captured in a photograph by George Rinehart, showcasing the vibrant lights, crowds, and energy of one of America's most iconic urban centers during the Roaring '20s. In 1907, Sam Whitaker, a cook on the Ellis Ranch near Tascosa, Texas, prepares a meal on a chuck wagon. This moment, captured by renowned cowboy photographer Irwin Smith, reflects daily life on a working cattle ranch in the early 20th century. In the 1890s, a woman stands in front of a one-story sod house in Nebraska, carrying a binocular case and holding a shovel. A cook stove and chicken coop sit nearby, illustrating the self-sufficient lifestyle of frontier homesteads. In 1892-1895, an unidentified man, possibly the driver, stands beside a Conestoga wagon drawn by 3 oxen, 2 resting in the dirt street in Asheville, North Carolina. This scene reflects the labor and transportation methods of the late 19th century American South. Around 1910, a Native American family is pictured in front of their slabtown home, constructed from lumber slabs from local mills near the bay in Traverse City, Michigan, illustrating the resourceful housing practices of the community. In 1910, John Bratton, a salesman for the Dr. Coke Vegetable Tea Company, stops at the Seller family's homestead shack in North Dakota to take an order, offering a glimpse into early 20th century rural commerce and daily life on the frontier. In 1911, a Southern Ohio family poses in front of their new washing machine, capturing a moment of domestic life as early household appliances began to transform daily chores in American homes. Around 1890 to 1900, patrons of Old West saloons in Southern California spent their time drinking and playing cards, reflecting the social culture and recreational habits of frontier towns during the late 19th century. Wild West cowgirls were women who took on roles traditionally held by men in the American frontier, including cattle driving, rodeo performance, and ranch work, challenging social norms while contributing to the culture and economy of the West. In the late 1890s, students in Fayette County, Kentucky, are pictured riding in a horse-drawn wagon school bus, illustrating the early methods of transporting children to rural schools, before motorized vehicles became common. A lumbering crew in Manistee, Michigan, is pictured loading logs onto a big-wheel device in the woods, demonstrating the labor-intensive methods used in the timber industry during the early 20th century. 1896, construction activity is underway in Cripple Creek, Colorado, reflecting the rapid development and boomtown growth fueled by the region's gold mining industry. In 1843, a daguerreotype captures the north side of Chestnut Street between 2nd and 3rd Streets in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, offering a rare glimpse of urban life and architecture in mid-19th century America. In 1919, a full-service Shell station operates in San Francisco, illustrating the early growth of the automobile industry and the emergence of dedicated service stations in American cities. Around 1890, a family is pictured in front of their log home in Green River, Utah, likely during winter. This image reflects the frontier lifestyle and self-sufficient living of rural families in the American West. 1881, Edward Dossiter photographed the Noatiquetil village of Zwamdasby on Hope Island, off the northeast coast of Vancouver Island, British Columbia. The image shows houses adorned with painted family crests, reflecting the cultural traditions of the community. In 1927, travelers are pictured camping in a Chevrolet house truck, an early form of a camper RV, illustrating the growing popularity of automobile-based recreation and the beginnings of modern road travel culture. Between 1890 and 1903, a group of men in Cades Cove, Tennessee, is pictured turning a threshing wheel by hand, demonstrating the labor-intensive agricultural practices common in rural Appalachia at the turn of the century. In the 1890s, a ferry operates on the Washita River near Monroe, Louisiana, providing a vital transportation link for people, goods, and livestock in the region before widespread bridge construction and motorized vehicles. In 1899, miners in Dawson City, Yukon Territory, pay with gold dust at a grocery store, capturing everyday commerce during the Klondike Gold Rush and the unique economy fueled by the search for fortune. 1875, a miner's cabin in Colorado stands as a simple shelter, reflecting the rugged lifestyle and frontier conditions faced by those drawn to the region's mining camps during the 19th century gold and silver rushes.